Hello and welcome to an FPL Kneejerk live stream with a little bit of a difference. It's not live, there's no chat to go with. Hugely frustrating for anyone that usually kind of tunes in a little bit after I do it, or for anyone that was going to tune in live. Do apologise. You guys know, for those of you that watch for a while, you know that my internet is not the best. I usually struggle through with it. It's usually fine for uploading videos, but for streams it can be an absolute nightmare. Sometimes it's fine. Most of the time it's fine, but it has nights like tonight where it's just completely awful. And I really appreciate that people just say stuff like, you know, the sound is fine, that's all we need. But it's a video, like it's a YouTube channel. I don't want it to be just audio only. I know some people will just watch without the video, as in, you know, they'll put it in their pocket and just listen or whatever, and that's cool. But yeah, I didn't want to do it, so I stopped the stream. And what I thought I would do is basically record this as if I'm streaming, i.e. like if I do like a team selection video or a game week preview video, it's usually quite I won't say slick because it's not necessarily like that, but you know, I record it, I answer the question, if I make a mistake I re-record it, whereas for the streams I don't do that and they're a bit more casual. So I'm going to record it like that and upload it like that, and I'll probably upload it tonight if I can. And I've literally just put out a tweet asking for what would have been your normal questions in the chat, and I'm just going to answer them as if I was in a stream. Now, the only real difference is when I'm in a stream, I don't usually go and look up stats and points and stuff like that. I just do what's on the top of my head, most of the time anyway. So I'm going to treat it like that. So that's where we've got the proper intro with all the shirts and stuff. Antonio, by the way, is on the shirts now. Absolute legend. Thank you to Marco for putting him up, which is great. And then I'll quickly show you my team, as always, quick team reaction. You can actually see the chat is still up from when I started doing the stream, and it was an absolute nightmare. So yeah, we'll just keep that up and pretend that it's going through and through and through, even though it's not. Let me just moan for a minute, right? So I play McCarthy. There's a VAR check in the last minute. So I'm thinking I've not had a clean sheet all since restart. McCarthy's lost it with 1 minute to go. Then it was absolute joy the VAR pulled through and ruled it out. Sucked for Bournemouth, don't get me wrong, but for me I was well happy. And then Foster against Man City loses 4-0 and he beats McCarthy because he saves a bloody penalty. Look, don't get me wrong, people have tweeted me saying you'd always pick McCarthy over Foster against Man City. Of course, that's not the point. The point is I've played Foster over and over again. He's done absolutely nothing. He plays the best team, second best team in the league, and suddenly he gets 9 points. Massively frustrating. Then as a 1 week punt, I take out Antonio and I put in Son. I think, look, even if I didn't transfer Antonio out, I would have benched him, right? 100% I would have done that. So I'm not saying I would have got the points anyway. But suddenly he's on penalties. The guy has played 388 games, and tonight is the first time he takes penalties. Like, how are you supposed to predict that? Like, Noble has been on penalties for West Ham for like 27 years, and all of a sudden Antonio takes one. Apparently, it's for a goal bonus. Apparently, if he gets 10 goals this season, he gets a bonus. So apparently that's why. But hugely frustrating to take him out. And the thing is, I could have made a defender transfer instead, and maybe upgraded my defenders for next week as well, and just kept Antonio in because he outscored Son in the end, only got an assist. So that's also hugely frustrating. Also, Sice. Like, I know Wolves have rotated a little bit, but I mean, centre-back getting rotated, I don't think anyone called that. So he misses out in what was pretty much a guaranteed clean sheet. And who comes off my bench? Finally, Egan, and he's done nothing either. So, a hugely frustrating game. And then De Bruyne, I see that Sterling's been taken out for a penalty. I think, great. At least De Bruyne is going to take the penalty. And then Sterling steps up because of the golden boot. So that's another kind of missed point. So I take Antonio out. Foster beats McCarthy. And Sterling beats De Bruyne. Hugely frustrating. I don't know if... I'm just going to quickly check now. I think ranks and stuff... Yeah, it looks like my rank's actually slightly better than that, but not by much. It's going to be 178,083 as it stands. So I've only just beaten the average, but I'm nowhere near the top 10k average, which is 67. So I've only got 54. So I think I'm 32 points off top 100k. It's doable in a week. Very unlikely. So at this point, it almost feels like the season's just a write-off for me now. I'm not going to get top 100k. I don't think. I could go for a massively different captain this week. Like, one guy I've considered captaining to maybe try and make that up is Mahrez. But that's me trying to back Mahrez to massively outscore Sterling, who I'm probably going to bring in. So I'm not sure about that. But it is one option. So, I think The season's not a write-off. Of course, I'm still going to try and get as many points. Like finishing 120k is better than going back outside the top 200k, for example. But yeah, not a great week. Fernandes, Man United look knackered, by the way. Absolutely knackered. No real clue on what to do tonight. Fernandes looks done. Rashford was awful. Martial not much better. Greenwood got his goal. Fair play to him if you had him. But overall, not a good game at all. And I worry about him next week. So, as always on the streams, I'll talk about what I'm looking to do next week. So if I just bring up, this is my team for next week. So, I mean, I look at this. There's not too many problems with it. One of the main problems, and by the way, Martial is never going to be my captain. That's just stuck over from last week. One thing that's going to be an issue is not having Sterling. Now, I talked a lot about getting Salah or Mane because they'd be lesser owned. But it's very hard to look past Sterling now. I even said in my free hit video, if I wanted three, if I was going for three Man City this week, it'd be Jesus, Mahrez and Sterling. I'm not really put off by Jesus. I know he had a poor game. But if he starts, and hopefully we'll find out before the deadline, then I still fancy him against Norwich. I think him, Mahrez and Sterling, they're the front three at the end of the day. So, of course, they're probably going to be the most likely for a goal. So that's kind of where I'm looking right now for my transfers. Maybe De Bruyne to Sterling. So if I just quickly show you, I got 2 free transfers, by the way, but hardly any money. So if you remember, one of the options I was going to do was De Bruyne and Son out for Salah, and then I would have put David Silva in. But I think I've probably got to go for Sterling now, who, by the way, is on 196 points out of nowhere. He is now only 19 points behind Mane, which is incredible. And then I've got an 8.4 million mid. I'd probably have to go back to Antonio. So I could do that. I could go to Antonio. Basically, I've got to make 1.2 million. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold out for a 6.3 million defender. I could do, but who's that 6.3 million defender? Plus, Trent has shown once again, once he gets attack and returns, he's insane. I think he's going to finish on, I'm just going to double check. I think he's finished on 3 bonus points in a 5-3 win. Yeah, he's going to finish on 3 bonus. He's going to finish on 13 points without getting a clean sheet. The guy is insane. So I wasn't going to get rid of Trent anyway. This match has just made that clear. So the ways to do it, I can do Son or Fernandes, and yes, I am considering getting rid of Fernandes to Antonio. Danny Ings down to Chris Wood and keep my whole midfield. Or I could take a hit, take out Maguire. If he scores and I take him out, honestly, I will lose it. I'll be done. I'll rage quit, even though it's the end of the season. Maguire and like Sice out, or Egan, it doesn't really matter. And basically take a hit for 2 Burnley defenders, which doesn't sound very exciting, I grant you that. But it would let me do that. It would let me keep this midfield. So Sterling, I'd have Son. I still have Fernandes and Martial, just in case they do something, I guess, against Leicester. And that's about it, really. I don't know what that's for. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. Don't need to see it. That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to keep recording, by the way. I'm not going to edit this. It's going to be just like a stream. So yeah, I could do a hit, basically. Is it worth a hit to bring in Sterling for De Bruyne, though? I'm not sure. But if I'm captaining him, then I think I can talk myself into it. So that gives me 0.1 million left over. It also gives me double Burnley defence, which looks good this week, and Trent. And I think that's okay. Otherwise, by the way, my defence isn't looking great for this week. Trent, Maguire, I mean, against Vardy, I don't know if that's any good, really. If I play Egan, it's against Ings. And if I play Sice, it's against a team that's just scored 3 past Liverpool. Although, if anything, I think Wolves would probably be a bit more tighter than Liverpool were. Other option, I'll just do this last one before I go through some of the questions you guys have sent me on Twitter. Sterling and Fernandes out. And Fernandes would then become Antonio. So I know some people will say, well, why did you get rid of Antonio? But I didn't 100% know if I was going to bring him back. Whether or not to take the next penalty, I don't know. And it is Aston Villa, so it's not an easy fixture. But that's another way to do it. Even though I brought in Son and said it was a 1-week punt, there's a part of me that wants to keep him. He's solo owned, and it's Crystal Palace. I know Kane's looking great, but Son can get anything. Like, can get something on any day. So that's what I'm currently looking at doing for my team. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is basically take questions as if you guys are in the chat. But I'm just going to take them from Twitter. So I'm going to go through them quickly. I'm not going to do a huge amount. I've already been recording for nearly 10 minutes. And I've not even gone for any questions. This ain't going to be a 45-minute to an hour video, just like a stream. I do apologise again. Like I hate it. It really frustrates me that I can't stream like I want to sometimes, especially on the last week of the season. This would have been the last knee-jerk stream. So I'm really frustrated. Hopefully I can do a deadline stream on Sunday anyway. That'll probably be about an hour and a half, from like 1:30 till 3. But yeah, massively frustrated about this. By the way, again, look, just like a stream, quick shout out to the Patreons. Thanks very much to everyone that signed up, including the producers. If you want to check it out, there's a link in the description below. And thanks to Ian C, who joined up this week as well. So brand new Patreon this late in the season. That's great. And obviously it will carry on into next season as well. So if you do want to sign up, get involved in Slack and all the leagues next year, yeah, check out the link in the description below. Okay. So I get my team back. Let's have a look at some of the questions, all right? So get Salah or Sterling. You already have Jesus and De Bruyne for Fernandes or Martial. Yeah, I don't think there's much in it, Fernandes and Martial. I do think Fernandes just looks knackered. He can't make a pass right now. But it's not to say he won't do well in the next game. I think that's a tough one. Get Salah or Sterling. I've changed my tune on this, like, for obvious reasons. The thing is, Salah still, how has he not scored in the last 3 games? There's just no way he doesn't score in that last game. But I think I'm currently siding with Sterling, basically. I was looking at getting Salah in, and I might still do it. But I'm probably gonna go for Sterling. Was owning Trent luck or skill? Absolutely skill, of course. Keeping the best defender in the game. There isn't no luck about that. That's absolute skill. Let's have a look. Given Salah's poor form since the restart, and it's particularly poor form poor away form all season, only 4 goals, is it actually worth having him on a free hit, given he is 4 goals away from Vardy and therefore highly unlikely to get the golden boot? The thing with the golden boot is, like, Salah is still going to want to score. Like, these players are not just going to not want to score because of the golden boot. Like, I know we make a big deal of it, and players absolutely go for it. He's still going to be shooting on sight, is Salah. So if you've got him, I wouldn't necessarily take him out. If you're on a free hit, yeah, maybe you could go for someone else instead and save some money. But I still think one of Salah or Mane is a good option this week. Am I getting cold feet on Jesus? I'm not, to be honest. I mean, obviously, if I was on a free hit, I would consider not having him. I still think I'd probably go for him, though. I feel like the Norwich game was a bit like the Southampton one, in that the slight difference was I don't think Jesus actually looked quite that good against Watford. I think I might have said Norwich. I meant Watford. I don't think he looked that great against Watford. Never really looked like scoring. Whereas against Southampton, when he didn't score, I think he did look like he could score. I just think if he starts that Norwich game, yes, he only might get 60 or 70 minutes, but that's a big game. That's a big game he could fill his boots in. So I would not be getting rid of him, personally. I've not really got cold feet. I have looked at ways I could get rid of him. Like, I think if I do... Let's have a quick look. If I do Jesus out and Son out for Sterling, I can get 7.5 forward. Maybe someone like Chris Wood or whoever it might be for 7.5. But I'm not really convinced by it, to be honest. So I'm just going to probably keep him. Let's have a look. Oh, my Twitter keeps getting put to the top. Would you dump both Martial and Rashford for David Silva and Kane for 2 free transfers? Only Bruno as my United asset then. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of David Silva. Like, it is last game, probably, at home in the league. I think right now, if you gave me the straight-up choice, David Silva or Kane, or Martial and Rashford, I probably would pick David Silva and Kane, as long as you've got nothing else major to do, Would I remove Martial for David Silva? There's going to be lots of these questions. I think ultimately, right, the answer to all these questions is yes, I want 3 Man City players. So maybe, yeah, if you're only... The only thing I would say is Leicester haven't been great since restart, not just in the last couple of games. They haven't been great since restart, and now they've got even more injuries. So I wouldn't be shocked if Man United do something. The problem is, I think Man United have looked pretty poor in the last 4 games. Southampton, Palace, Chelsea in the FA Cup, and now West Ham. They've not looked great. Solskjaer's running them into the ground. We only made 2 subs tonight, by the way. Absolutely ridiculous, right? They were like, Fernandes, he just couldn't string a pass together by the end of the game. He was over-hitting crosses. Like, he's just absolutely knackered. So is it a risk getting rid of someone like Martial? Of course, they're so highly owned. But for David Silva in a Norwich game, if he's going to start, I think he's a better option, to be honest. Do I think Liverpool will start Salah in Gameweek 38 plus? Yes. Absolutely. I think it'll be the same as tonight. I think it'll be this Firmino, Mane, Salah front three. I think it'll be the Trent, Robbo, Van Dijk, Gomez back four. The middle three may change a bit. I just don't see anything other than that, unless Klopp says otherwise. He keeps rotating in the youngsters, but not really starting them the last few games because there's more of a rest period. So I think we're fine. Let's have a look. Any predictions on the Pep roulette in midfield? So I think the team that played against Watford, I think it'll be very similar. I'm not gonna guess the defence, and to be honest, I don't think most people care. I'm gonna say the only changes will be, and look, maybe Foden will play and Jesus won't play and Sterling will be false nine. But I think I think Mahrez will come in for Foden. I think Sterling will go to the left. Mahrez will be on the right. And I think David Silva comes in for Bernardo Silva in the middle. And I think that might be the only change. The only other one as well, I think Fernandinho started against Watford. It could be Gundogan, it could be Rodri. Basically, whoever didn't start, it could be them. But in terms of the attackers, I think it'd be De Bruyne, David Silva, Mahrez, Sterling, Jesus for the last game. Because they've got no FA Cup. And I think the Champions League is like another 7 days away or something like that. There's no reason to bother resting people. He still could, and we'll probably get team news, which will help, but there's no real reason to do it. I've just seen someone say you deserve an early night and do a stream tomorrow. I'm not going to do that because, and obviously you'll see that when this video goes up, which probably won't be too much longer because I've got to render it now. The great thing about doing a live stream, by the way, is it's basically edited and rendered for you, and you can just go and watch it straight away. With this, I'm going to have to render it, which is going to take half an hour or so, and then I'm going to have to upload it, which with the internet at the moment is probably going to take another half an hour to an hour, so it's going to be a late night. But I'd rather get it out now because tomorrow I'll have the team selection video in the afternoon. Friday will be the preview, so there's no real room to do another stream. So this probably will be it. So apologies again. I can't tell you without swearing how much it frustrates me. Best low-owned captain choice for Gameweek 38 if chasing. I mean, I still think Man City could be where it's at. Mahrez, Mane, if you want to go for a Liverpool player, both very well low-owned. That's the two I'd be looking at. Pick between Rodriguez, Burnley, and David Silva. I mean, David Silva, definitely. You got the triple captainship for Game Week 38. Sterling nailed for that at the moment. What do you think? Why not? Absolutely. Going to get David Silva in somehow too. Yeah, looks like a good plan. I mean, how can anyone argue against? Sterling right now? Where will the goals be on Sunday? I think maybe a few in the Arsenal-Watford game. Chelsea and Wolves, I don't think it's going to be that open. I think, look, it's going to be Man City. It's going to be Liverpool. They're going to be the two big ones, I think. There's usually going to be a shot. I think Everton-Bournemouth maybe could be like a 3-2, 4-2 or something like that. Which now I've said out loud doesn't sound right, but it could be. We'll have to wait and see. Would you take a -4 to change Kevin De Bruyne and Pulisic to Salah and David Silva? Probably not. No, don't think I would. A -4 to bet on David Silva beating De Bruyne. I mean, obviously you got Salah beating Pulisic as well. Though Pulisic looked good when he came on tonight. Will he start against Wolves? I'd say he probably will. I don't know about that -4 to be honest. If you think it's going to work though, go for it. Opinion on doubling Kane and Son to catch those Liverpool assets already have 3 Man City. I'd say right now how things are looking, that's probably not the worst double up punt to be honest. Then there's something about like Kane just looks like the one at the moment. But I mean, Son's got so many returns this year. There's nothing to say he won't do more. Or get more. So yeah, I quite like that. If you want to back against Liverpool players. Best player for triple captaincy for the last game. It's got to be Sterling. I still think Sterling, Salah, Mane. I think Mahrez or Jesus could do something, but they're a bit of a bigger punt than Sterling right now. Thoughts on David Silva, triple captain against Norwich? Yeah, I don't know about the narrative with David Silva. Like, will his team be... I mean, his team are going to want him to score, of course. He's not that type of player. He's not like ego-driven or anything like that. So I'm not really worried about that. But his team might be trying to get him to score. Will he take a penalty? Maybe. What if Sterling's got 2 goals, though? And then they get a penalty. Are they going to give it to David Silva or going to give it to Sterling to maybe try and get that golden boot? Best free hit strikers. I mean, I was loving Rashford for this week, but not so much now. I still think Danny Ings is good. I still think Jesus is good. And then Kane. I much prefer Kane over Aubameyang. I've seen a lot of people like thinking about putting Kane and Aubameyang in. I don't personally get that. I think that would hurt your squad too much elsewhere unless you got incredible team value. Any tips on making a final push from 20k towards top 10k? No millies to worry about. Not concerned if rank drops closer to 50k and you're not on a free hit. You got to, basically, for me, I would go and look. I would just Google live FPL rank, get onto the livefpl.net site, go to top 10k player ownership, and look from there at players that are not owned highly in the top 10k that you think could score well. So Sterling's only owned by about 28%, I think, in the current top 10k. Now that's going to go up this week because people outside of the top 10k will get into it because they had Sterling. So his ownership will go up, and it'll go up anyway because people will transfer in. Like, he's already had 34,000 transfers in, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think like what percentage of players are actually active right now, it's probably quite high. So low-owned players, I've already said, like Mane, Mahrez could be a huge differential as well. Captaincy is where it could be big, and if you're not bothered about dropping, then maybe do that. Maybe bring in and captain a low-owned player like Mane. Is going with just Greenwood on a free hit a good enough cover for Man United? Don't worry about cover. I wouldn't worry about cover. Like Greenwood, again, he scored a pretty good goal today. I don't think that will count as a big chance. I still don't think he's had any since restart. But who cares? For that money, he's enabling elsewhere, so I like him still. If you don't think Man United are going to do very well, you don't need their other players, to be honest. Ings, Martinez and Robertson, or Greenwood, Pope and Trent, free hit. Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I just about prefer Ings, Martinez and Robertson, would you believe? Or do I? It depends. If you've got no other Burnley defenders, then probably the Pope one. If you have, I'd probably go for the Ings one. As they are still the best team in the league and can score bucket loads, as shown tonight. What's the best Liverpool triple up for free hit? I think just because I would want 3 Man City attackers, it would have to be one of Salah or Mane, and then Trent and Robbo for me. If you want to triple up on Liverpool, got triple captainship for Gameweek 38. Sterling now. Oh yeah, I've already done that one. Worth getting Trent in for Sice or upgrading Guendouzi to Antonio Moore and benching Greenwood. For me, straight away, that I feel like that's not an easy one, but Trent in for Sice is a big upgrade, and you don't need to bench Greenwood. Whereas if you bring in Antonio or Moura, you'd be bringing in Antonio Moura to bench Greenwood, who's arguably as good an option this week, to then play Sice instead of Trent. I think it's got to be Trent. Pulisic in on free hit. He probably still wouldn't be on mine, to be honest, but every time he plays, he gets points, so maybe he should be. Is it worth taking a hit if you're on a bench boost? Potentially. Depends how many you have to take and who it's for, but if you've got a non-playing bench player, then yeah, I would probably take a hit, to be honest. Vardy to Kane or De Bruyne to Sterling. Oh, that is a tough one. My gut feeling is Vardy to Kane because I just think De Bruyne is an okay option. Obviously, De Bruyne's going for the assist record, isn't he? I just much prefer Kane to Vardy this week. My main question is your thoughts on Man United assets. Yeah, I suppose I've already kind of touched on it, but I just don't think they're looking essential right now. That's all I'll say. I don't think you have to necessarily get rid of them, but if you wanted to, I don't think it's the worst option in the form we've been in the last few games. Time to ditch De Bruyne for Sterling if you haven't got him already. Yeah, I don't see why not. How scary are Chelsea going to be next year? I mean, if you own their defenders, they're going to be very scary. They've conceded more goals than Brighton and Everton, I think, now. I'm going to see if there's any more questions coming in while I've been chatting. Don't think there is many more, to be honest. Let me find the tweet that I put out. So it's like a proper stream. I'm just rambling on, talking rubbish. Worth getting in. Oh, yeah, I've done that one. This is gonna be all ones I've done before. Everyone is sold on Liverpool assets going to 38 plus, but they're about to have the biggest party of their lives tonight. I'm the only one thinking this way. That's a good point. Yeah, they're about to lift the trophy, so it could be some more beers. And we saw what happened last time that happened. Now, fair point. I'm probably going Sterling, like I said, instead of Salah now. But I don't think it suddenly makes Liverpool bad options. But yeah, I like your thinking. Let me see if I've missed any. No, I think that's about it. How long? I'm going for 24 minutes. I think considering it's not a live stream, I think that's probably okay. And plus it gives me enough time to render it and get it uploaded tonight, hopefully. So I'll leave it there. It really does suck that the final stream is not even a stream. I will definitely have team selection tomorrow on Thursday, and I will definitely have game week preview on Friday. This was just a really quick reaction thing and a bit of moaning about Foster, Antonio and co. I'll probably answer very similar questions in the game week preview, but I'll put up a tweet and a post on YouTube about that. so you know when that's coming and you can get your questions in. Obviously, not that I'm not giving them thought now, but sometimes when the dust settles, you know, tomorrow I might be thinking a bit differently. When I've looked at some of the stats, had a bit more of a thought about different combinations, there might be a few different answers. So check out the game week preview. That'll be on Friday. There'll be nothing on Saturday. I did think about doing something, but I'm just not going. I've done enough this week, I think. And then Sunday, a deadline stream. My internet better be fine, or I will flip my lid, as they say. Shout out once again to the Patreon. Thanks again for ENC for signing up this week, and all the other guys that are all up as producers. If you want to check that out, links in the description below. Thanks for the great stream. That wasn't a stream. I will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. I kind of made it a streamy vibe, but without the live questions. But I kind of got them from Twitter. I'm just having a look now if there's any more. It doesn't look like there is. So yeah, I'll leave it there. And I will be back tomorrow for a team preview, team selection preview, where I figure out how to get Sterling in. See you later all.